Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
To the Cross Series League Racing NASCAR 1987 series. It's the final round here, presented by Nexus Fab here at Daytona International. Action booth that you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Wow. Austin, what can we say? Classic NASCARs, classic track even. What's not to love, really? The nostalgia, I can feel it brimming through my bones and pulsating through my veins right now. I'm really looking forward to this one.
I'm looking forward to it too. I know it's the opening series block of the NASCAR asphalt oval is going to be coming to an end at the end of this week, and then we head over to the trophy trucks and go onto rallycross tracks with there for some dirt road action. And we had the rallycross. It's going to be super trucks on rallycross tracks next time, but we got to get through Daytona here. And Daytona and these cars is kind of interesting because we're hitting 200 miles an hour on our own, faster than the current Cup cars, because back in 1987 they like to bend the rules just a little bit. And you're gonna have to lift a little in these cars, so traffic management is gonna be very important here. But we're gonna be seeing some excellent racing in these classic buttes.
Right, it is, and I mean, pack racing is definitely going to be playing a large part of it undoubtedly, and be interesting to see, how those guys manage to end up, falling away from a group, and obviously normally where we see that sort of secondary group, will they be working together to catch up to that lead group, or battling it out? Or, of course, with ovals, always known for a potential of a full course yellow, and of course the safety car appearing and bunching everyone back up again. However, that's where it becomes quite tricky, because as we know, cautions breed cautions as always.
Yep, cautions do breed cautions, and they've been working on that to get everybody back up to tip-top shape. And I was doing a few practice races with everybody out here, and it was really fun. Everybody was taking their time and everything. Sure, you have a few guys that qualify a little bit bad. They get very aggressive at the start. Some guys at the start want to start pulling away immediately. That midfield, everybody's doing one or the other, and it's very it's gonna be very interesting to see how this race goes, because they've been very clean. Last race, no cautions. This race, I have a bet going on in my head right now that there probably is going to be 2 cautions today. It's Daytona. It's pretty much inevitable that there's going to be a caution. Pack racing, everything. Somebody's going to get a little bit loose. And it's 2009 Daytona, the really bumpy one. So, car control is going to be very crucial around here.
It is indeed, and also, that slight bit of an aspect of just managing the tyres a little bit. See, 28 laps are not too bad, compared to likes of, the Daytona 500, where, you have to really grind it out. Much shorter race here today, and as always, as you can see, the timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen, just how tight the times are at the top. Really slim margins. 200ths of a second, well, just under 200ths a second, separating first and second right now. Our top 4 covered by 400ths of a second. You can't even comprehend of what that is. It's just the difference between it, maybe a little of a micro lift over one of the bumps, not just getting through it quite right. It's all the separating Herman from being on pole ahead of Cameron Pedersen right now.
Yeah, Cameron Peterson currently sits on provisional pole, but yeah, the gap between him and Bobby Ross is extremely minimum. Jimmy Huat in there, Brendan Haran. Your top 4 is incredibly tight, within 500ths, and that's Daytona. This track, you do have to lift heading into turn 1, so it's all about how much you really want to send it into turns 1 and turn 3, because those are the parts of the track where you do have to lift. And it's one thing to qualify fast here, it's another to race around here cleanly.
It is indeed, and not far away from the race beginning right now. So it's over to yourself, Austin, to take us through the grid.
Yeah, Cameron Peterson, the Canadian, starts up on pole position ahead of Bobby Ross, and Jimmy Watt will be right behind him in the second row. Brendan Haran will be starting in 4th place, followed by Jake Ham and Lakian Capel in 6th place for Vipers Esports. Josh Clogg and Scott Benavides behind them in 7th and 8th. They're followed by Robert Schwenkler and Gary DePerio behind them. David Barnes and James Kerr in 11th and 12th. They're followed by Kevin Irwin and Tyler Coates. Mike Storom and Paul Mikulajek in 16th. The Polish plow, or the Polish Paul that is written on his front nose, has been running up front a lot, is starting all the way down in 16th today. Tyler Brown and Jaden Darling will be at the back of the grid, and I believe they are both serving a qualifying penalty, but it's Paul, he qualified that. He put himself all the way at the back, so I'm expecting Paul to expect this race to get a little bit hairy at the start, or he might try to use his track position to sneak a early pit stop and carry his way back in there underneath some draft.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how he comes through the field potentially, or even again. I mean, it's going to be tricky for him all the way down in 16th. However, well, it takes this one little instant, and he could, play really into his hands, and you could see him climb through the order as well as the overtakes. We're bound to see him make, of course, myself being British. James Kerr, the only Brit in the field, got to show a bit of national allegiance for him. He's currently starting in 11th place. There he is in that number 88. However, I think, I mean, it's so close that we saw during qualifying with those top four, hundredths of a second, 400th second covering our top four. It's going to be fascinating to see how those guys get on, and ultimately, I think you're going to see a victory potentially between one of those four.
Yeah, our top drivers are really going to be they're really tightly packed, and this pack race is going to be very interesting to see on how it goes. I'm expecting some drivers at the back to be pretty aggressive, some drivers in the middle to be just taking their qualifying position and just trying to stay there. But I think the top 6 drivers might get their elbows out and just run with them. Cameron Peterson, who's been on a roll so far this season, has just been dominating.
He has, and be interested to see whether he can continue that dominance once here at Daytona. As you mentioned earlier, Austin, the old version of the track, it is bumpy out there, and whether it catches some of our drivers when they're in that tight pack racing situation, and just ends up, potentially causing some issues for them when they've got to get out the throttle then unexpectedly. It's going to be interesting to see, but not long now until green. Here comes the safety car.
And it's green, 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 and away they go. It's a slow start by Cameron Peterson. Big slow start back in the pack. A big, giant bunch up happened right there. We saw that about 4 rows back on the outside right line. Somebody just didn't get going, and, well, luckily we avoided a collision, but that really separated the pack right there. Cameron Peterson taking that bottom line and staying in the lead. Looks like he didn't get the better line, and Bobby Ross had the lead just for a little bit. But Jimmy Huat on that bottom line already pushing Cameron Peterson back into the lead. Bobby Ross has some help on the outside. That's a 45, Brendan Haran. And our top 2 rows are side by side. So 3 wide in the background, the 7 and the 69. Kevin Irwin and Mike Sarum almost getting into each other heading into turn 3. They rose 3 wide for a little bit. And, Mike holding that outside line. Not trying to kill a cat, I believe, as Cameron Peterson stays ahead of Bobby Ross. Bobby Ross dives it down to the inside and stays on the back of Cameron right here.
Well, you saw just under a lap ago, Clogger in that 13, having to get onto the apron just to avoid potential contact and take some evasive action, which sort of drop off by a little bit. But you can see we've got 2 clear packs forming now. And starting to spread out a little bit, but everyone following around that notorious snake that you always have, and a pink car just in the background. They're starting to drop off a little bit. However, it's this battle for the lead between Pedersen, Ross, and Howard that's really starting to shape up. And if the track was a little bit wider, I'm sure we'd already be at a 3 wide here, Austin.
Yeah, this ain't Talladega. You're going to have to earn your stripes around here, and hopefully it's not the Daytona stripe, which it being a white stripe on the side of your call, a.k.a. you hit the wall. But it's Peterson holding that outside line, getting a good push by Hawat. Jimmy and Cameron working together right there, but Cameron going down low and getting ahead of Bobby Ross right there. You see Brendan Haran going all the way to the yellow line right there, then getting all the way out to the wall, almost getting it back there, but Ross gets a good run, and Ross is now leading the race. He got ahead of Cameron.
You see as well where the guys in that second group are starting to work together now to close up onto the tail end of this lead pack of cars. Almost looking like around about a 9-car fight for the lead. You can see everyone now back up together again once more, as Ross just taking that inside line, trying to defend from Pedersen and hold on to it, but Pedersen getting a much better run, using the banking to his advantage, where he's able to carry that little bit more speed. However, Ross just holding on to it now, and be interested to see what Howard in that 37. Oh, someone into the wall there on the corner exit. That's just about managed to save it enough. For a moment there, I thought we were heading into our first four-course yellow there.
Yeah, only 28 laps out here on the board right now as we start lap number 5. And it is still Bobby Ross leading out the field ahead of Cameron Peterson.
You mentioned obviously about the 38 of Paul Miklauschik and how he'd be coming through the field. Currently at 6 places, up into 10th right now.
Oh, and in the wall is Brendan Haran. Haran in the wall.
I think he's just keeping the car in the wall, keeping out of everyone's way, and oh, there goes the tire as well.
Yeah, tires rolling off and away. Well, we got loose debris right there, but luckily in iRacing, the debris once off the car is uncollidable, unlike in its original release, which, you know, caused a little bit of skippy havoc, but it was fun to drive through. Yeah, he'll be getting into the pit lane, and no caution yet, but very smartly driven by Brendan Haran to stay up there on the wall and avoid everybody else staying down low. Very heads-up drive by everybody. Let's ride on board Jimmy Watt as he is in the pocket. Yellow flag is thrown. Yellow flag is out. I'm not sure for who, though.
No, I'm trying to have a little bit of a look. I'm not sure what's caused that.
Did Haran blow through his pit box? Nope, there is Brennan right there. He's just come through the pit lane.
He's the only driver. I mean, according to the log within our fabulous software that we run here at Apex Racing TV, Haran is the only driver that I can see potentially that would have caused it from that incident. However, you know, he did, like I said earlier, Austin, he did want to keep it out of the wall.
They do not throw admin cautions here, so the caution was caused by something. I'm just not sure by what, though. Everyone would say it would be Brendan Haran, but he was already in the pit lane when all this was going down.
No, a bit of a strange one. If it's going to, you know, bunch up the pack once more, and sure, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers handle this restart and get away. And whether you see someone maybe getting the jump on the competitors. Obviously, Ross, he's moved down to 2nd place for now. Pedersen up in front. However, as long as Ross can get away and, as he heads into the pits, this is going to shuffle up the pack here, Austin.
Yeah, pit stops. Everybody needs a pit. They need to head into the pits to get topped up on fuel. But is this going to be a little bit too much? You know, this is going to be a little bit too early. I know everybody has been knowing on, hey, we know we could go this much on the fuel. But yeah, it's lap 8 out of 28 here. As everybody's taking fuel and tires. Are we going to see somebody take a 2-stop here? That is a very spicy pit in by the 82.
That is a, yeah, I think that was a last-second ditch. And Schenkler, he's got out in front.
Yeah, 2 tires. 2 tires?
Yeah. Yeah, we saw there was a couple of the drivers only taking 2 tires. Obviously, our top 2
Paul
being
and
those.
Robert Schwenkler, the Polish plow, or Polish Paul. Paul. I'm not sure who did it at the first broadcast, but that's what everyone's calling him now. It's on his front hood. It's Paul, but they said plow. And, well, Paul, from the back of the grid all the way to the front. And that 2-tire stop is, well, put him up into contention here.
Yeah, he's up 14 places. Schenkler, he's up 8. Darling, who you just see on your screen right now in the 81. None of the big risers. He's up 7 places. Likewise, Coates and Solrum of the 407 and 69 cars just ahead of him on track right now. They're both at 5. The biggest losers, realistically, from all that action was James Kerr. He's dropped 5 places down into 17th in the 88. And last night, obviously, we saw Brendan Haran. He's dropped to the back of the grid in that 45. However, I still, he's now actually looking at it. I think he's Is he on the lead lap now? I think he is. So
Yes,
he's
he's
going to be
got
catching
the
right at the
lucky
back of the
dog.
lap.
He got the lucky dog.
So he's going to have a chance to catch right up onto the back of these guys and join in the fun for when we go racing again.
Well, lights are off on the pace car, so this is going to be the last lap under yellow before we head back to racing. And like you said, cautions breed cautions. These guys going to be a little bit antsy after that. They know what to expect. Are we going to be seeing some more of the same or a little bit different? We got 2 different leaders now. And remember, somebody had a very poor restart at the front of the field last time. Are we going to be seeing that happen again? Ross and Peterson, who were leading the race, are now in the second row. They're behind 2 drivers who only took 2 tires. This is definitely going to be a little bit of a
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
spicy. It's going to get spicy.
I mean, in terms of track position, it's worked an absolute treat for those guys because they've got the jump on absolutely everyone in the field. However, with not taking those left-hand side tires, they both took the right side. Is that gonna? Are they gonna have enough grip potentially? Of course, the right wears a lot more heavily than the left. So I think, you know, with only 7 laps completed for the caution, there is chance for them to bring it back around. Yeah, there we go. Haran's just made it right up onto the back of the field just in time to go racing again.
And 20 laps to go here. It's going to be 19 when they come across the line. 20 laps to go. Currently, pace car is in as we go green, green, green here at Daytona. Schwenkler gets a good launch off there as Paul is on his outside. Cameron Peterson, Bobby Ross, Josh Clark, Jimmy Hawat right there. And Paul's got that outside line. Takes the lead just for a little bit. And Schwenkler retakes the lead. Look at Bobby Ross right up on that bumper right now. And the arrow really affects the draft right here. You could push somebody with the arrow. Look, Cameron Peterson going down to the inside. Schwenkler 3 wide right there. Gets up, pushed up just a little bit. And Cameron Peterson had to back away. Paul dies down low. And Paul big left. Schwenkler gets into him. Paul is sliding and pushing around. 3 wide right there trying to avoid Paul. And Sorum gets into their big crash in turn 4. We got cars upside down and flipping over. That's the 13 of Josh Clogg rolling end over end over end. Cars spinning into the pit lane. Mike Sorum making sure Josh is okay right there. And Josh's going to reverse into the pit lane.
Also, the 78 of Barnes as well, right in the background, which obviously throwing out the anchor, trying to avoid all of the spinners that happen in front of him. He also lost it as well, and I think he got into the wall too. So interested to see if he's incurred any damage. But Vides in the 82 and Clogg in the 13 are both in pit row once again. Only just some lap. Ooh, hold on, that's a bit of a nudge. Someone heading across to the right there. Onto the grass.
I think there might be a few heated motions right there. You know, it all started with Paul. He got down low right there, and then the car behind him just did not. I believe that was Schwenkler. We get that replay going. Schwenkler got very close to Paul right there, and gave him a little bit of a tap. Wasn't expecting Paul to lift up that much, and yeah, here's the big crash. Everyone was 3 wide trying to avoid Paul on the inside. And you can see Josh Clogg. Yep, there's Schwenkler getting into the back of Paul right there. Paul stuck down low. Everybody going up high. Mike Sorum all the way up there. The 13 of Josh Clogg just taps the 69 and a bam.
That's what started it all off. And Clogg was trying to stay out of trouble. Just moved up a little bit. And that's what started off the big chain reaction. And I mean, it's always the danger with pack racing where everyone's right on top of each other at high speed. Like you said, over 200 miles an hour here at Daytona, and all it takes is one tiny mistake, or not even necessarily a mistake, even in Clogg's case, where you're just trying to move around a little bit just to avoid something else happening and keep yourself clean. It ends up causing a big, big accident, and that's what we're seeing and why we're under this second caution period here at Daytona once more. And saw him in the pits, DiPiero as well as Barnes. Those drivers all heading down to pit row. Haran also, he dropped in as well. But it's all starting to shape up a little bit out up front, and 17 to go. I mean, I'd be interested to see how many, if they can keep going and get away for a few green flag laps, and that'll surely calm things down a little bit here.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a. I feel like everybody realized they only got 3 corners that time by, so I believe there's definitely going to be a restructuring of everybody. Just be like, hey, we need to do this. This is how we do it, and this is what we need to do. Or else this is definitely gonna repeat itself. Like we said, caution breeds cautions, and we saw it right there. Hand and fist, and 100%. Lights going to go out the pace car. We're going to see if they keep the 2 wide restart. They only did 2, so yep, they're going back to the 2 wide. It's going to be Ross and Hwat, your top 2. Schwinkler and Capel, followed by Paul in 5th, and Cameron Peterson, who's fallen down to 6th place. So Cameron didn't have the greatest restarts right there. He fell down the field.
Yeah, it's just where he got obviously caught up with everything that was initially happening from the Polish plow in that 38. He's still up 11 places, so still good. However, at the start of the last restart, he was on that front row. And just where he just got pushed out, nudged a little bit during the corner, and it's where he was onto the off the apron, and that's what's just caused the car to really unsettle there, and started everything off. It was the initial catalyst for the cacophony of drama that then ensued. Turn 3, and you're still in 6th place. Still be happy with that one. I mean, Lachlan Capel, the Australian, currently in 4th place on that high side. He's definitely going to be one to watch out for at this restart. It's a big thing for him. Also, just keeping one eye on my fellow Brit, James Kerr. He's down in 11th, at 1 place from where he qualified, and I'd be interested to see if he, rooting from a hometown guy, interested to see if he can come through the field a bit more.
Well, I'll let you keep your biases over there.
Yeah, I'll keep it on my side of the pond, as they call the Atlantic over here.
Well, pace car lights are off. They're pulling away, and it's time to go back to green, green, green. As Bobby Ross can control the field, we go back to green, green, green right now. And it is Ross and Watt right there. Watt, Jimmy doesn't have that much help on that restart, as Schwenkler was all over the bumper of Bobby Ross right there. Cameron Peterson all over the bumper of Schwenkler as well. That bottom line looking very good. The top 2 of each row pulling away right now. Everybody's keeping the orderly fashion. Jimmy's got the lead around that outside line. Little bit of a look by Capel looking down low. Bobby Ross had a little bit of a moment. Look at Schwengler. Look, he's looking really loose down there at that bottom line. It's more bumping down there. We got a car in the wall on the outside line. It's the number 7 of Irwin.
See, just keeping it against the wall and not lost too much time or pace.
It was just a tap. But that will really scrub away a lot of speed. 2 wide out front. Hwat and Ross still side by side. So we run on board of Capel, the Australian. He's looking up on Ross. Now he's looking for it in the middle. Oh, is Capel going to try to go through? Oh my goodness, Paul, where did you come from?
He came out of nowhere. You just saw him come steaming past on that high line there on the straightaway, and wow, said, "Hello, I'm here. I want a part of this action." Big slice of the action pie, and gets himself up into 3rd, now 2nd, and now he's going to have a go at Ross on this high line here. Austin, can he make it work as well? He's just tops back in behind Bobby Ross, and that 33 is ahead of us. You really see how bumpy the track is here at Daytona.
Yeah, that bottom line is really affecting some of these guys and trying to carry some speed. Big crash in the background. The 88's around, and the 88 is almost upside down. We almost got a blow over right there into the wall, and that is James Kerr.
There's surely got to be another caution here, Austin.
He's off the track. He's off the track. Off the track cars, not on the racing
Yes.
circuits. And we got another car around. Darling is off and into the pit lane. Jaden Darling coming back through the tri-oval, kept it off of the racing surface. Going to be onto the pit lane. We're going to be staying green.
Wow, I'm still not sure how we're still green after all that action in the midfield.
This
there.
is because they're not stopped on the racing circuit. They will not. It will not bring out a caution. This is how the iRacing on ice. There's a little bit of contact of Paul up there with Jimmy. They got stopped aside. They were bumping and banging a little bit right there. And look at this. We're on board with Bobby Ross. You can see Paul and Jimmy still going at each other. And in the background on turn 4, we got a third caution of the afternoon. 2 cars got in it. A lot of smoke came out of there. And our third caution is out with 11 laps to go.
Wow.
Tyler Brown was the car.
Let's take a little look at how it...
Oh, you can see he was already turned around right there. The 82 gets up into the wall, comes down, and it almost rejoins the track, collects the 429, and that's what sent him around right there. And, you know, we saw drivers get into the wall and stay up there to avoid caution, and that's what happens if you, you know, the car bounces away from you right there.
I mean, interestingly, Cameron Pedersen, despite all of the, you know, the action was happening up front, and it was, you know, all part of it, just sitting behind everyone and not able to make any progress, still in that 5th position right now in that 48. However, biggest loser during this sort of session between safety cars has been Brendan Horan in that 45. He's all the way down to 15th place. There he is right now. However, you know, got to say, Paul, with that overtake, the Polish player, with that overtake around the outside, absolutely spectacular, the amount of speed he was able to carry, and just saw a gap and went for it, as I think everyone's heading into pit row, apart from the 82 of Benavides.
A little bit of top-up of fuel and some tires as well. But Scott... you know, the tires, they do wear out a lot, and everybody, I think almost everybody missed their pit entry right there, and just overshot it. These tires, they wear a lot around the track. You really don't think of it, but the race off of pit road goes to Bobby Ross. J-Cam, Jimmy Hawat, currently is going to be out there. I think I think somebody might be getting a penalty for racing off pit road. You see Paul getting beaten out of pit road by David Barnes, almost getting into the back of Cameron Peterson right there. They're still having a little bit of fight. Actually, Paul did beat him out, and we'll be starting ahead of David Barnes. And also, if somebody's sped in the pit lane, they're going to be dropped to the back of the pack. I doubt that's going to be a case, but we've seen it before. But our current leader is the 82 of Scott Benavides. I almost had a starter right there, and somebody has stopped on the track way up ahead. I believe that might be Scott, who just blew past the safety car. Nope, that is a lapped car who has just stopped in front of the pace car. Yep, there he is. There's the 88. Is James... Oh, James! Oh. Wow. Okay.
That was a little bit interesting there, wasn't it?
I think it's showing him the bird. Definitely not happy about that.
No.
Felt a little bit cheated, so wanted to show his... Well, the 80... James was involved on his own incident on the back straightaway, and I think we found out who might have clipped him to cause that one.
Yeah, I think we might have found out exactly what happened there. Is they're just trying to sort themselves out behind the...
He's a lucky dog now, so, you know, he's back on the lead lap, but that was a little bit silly.
It was a little bit. Somebody said uncalled for, but you can see the frustration clearly there for coming out. And I tell you what, during that, you know, everyone headed to pit row, and everyone made stops. Jake Ham, one of the big climbers, made up a few places there. Had the shortest stop of everyone. Was only stationary for 9.5 seconds. Put that into contrast. The average time for everyone was around about the 23 seconds, but the next closest to him were Roth and Howard at both 11.5 seconds. So Ham, some 2 seconds quicker than anyone else in that 85. Has he got enough fuel? That's the big question to get himself home. I mean, with 9 to go, we haven't got long to find out.
Yeah, you can't throw your helmets at anybody else in iRacing, so I'm guessing that's the closest way you're going to get that. You get fined for that in NASCAR, I believe, now. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, it's definitely been desensitized a little bit compared to what it used to be. So I still see some of the raw aggression and passion come out in drivers, certainly compared
to... Well, it's going to come out again. 9 laps to go. So we're back to green. And it's wow, Ross really launched away ahead of Scott right there. Scott on those old tires. Oh, Scott got a nasty bump behind right there. 3 wide heading into turn 1. Oh, Scott being pushed up the field right there. Scott's around. Yeah. Scott's around the 13 and collected as well. The 69 involved again. The 88 plows into them. And another big crash. Scott had the worst start you could ever imagine on old tires. And that's why everybody went to get tires. No grip, spun up the wheels. And, well, it's everybody, it was everybody trying to restart behind a minivan with a broken clutch, pretty much.
Yes, definitely. You're not wrong there. It was completely gone. Let's take a little look at how the action unfolded.
Yeah, here you can see the 88 of James Kerr once again in an incident, and he's going to be taking another trip to the pit lane. But here is the... This is currently right now. I believe the field is going to be reset. But, oof.
I feel, yeah, Wolf, I think is a good way to describe it. It was definitely a little bit spicy in that midfield, as you were saying earlier, Austin. There's definitely some flared tempers and frustration boiling over from the last caution period, and I think nearly half the field involved in that last incident, and time's starting to run out here. I think what we're gonna... I'm just trying to think how many laps we're going to have roughly left before we of green flag racing. Well, potentially, assuming there's no more incidents, we're going to have around about 5 left, aren't we, here, Austin?
Yeah, it'll be about 5 left when we go, and it's our 4th caution of the night. It's another one on a restart. We saw this in Rockingham where they restricted to only single file restarts, as we see a few cars heading into the pit lane. They're going to need it. That is Darling, Huron, Clog, Gary DePero.
I think the 69 lost it on entry, potentially.
He did.
Well, there you go.
Well,
let's take a look.
Here's Mike, and Mike's been having a very rough day. Heading into the pit lane, gets onto the brakes, and lock up. Boom. Brake bias too far rearward, and that's going to be an unsafe pit entry, unfortunately.
It's going for bad words for the 69. You can see the 82 there just taking on some right side tires.
Yeah, and for these drivers on these new tires, well, everybody went into the pits for new tires on this restart. It's not going to be that big of an advantage, but they will be on the freshest tires heading to the end of the race, and they don't have a restart on these tires, and they might have not locked them up, as a few of the drivers tried to avoid that big crash up front. But our front row is Bobby Ross, Jimmy Hawat, Cameron Peterson, and Paul, our top 4. And, Cameron and Paul in that second row. Bobby Ross has been up there all day. He had an amazing restart right there, and Jimmy definitely took advantage of that. We might be seeing these two battle out to the end, but I won't count out that 48 or 33 or the 38. That the 8 on the top of his car looked like a 3, thanks to dyslexia.
Yes. Yeah, I was
I'm
just
not
about to
the
say,
only one who saw that, okay?
you're not. No, you're not alone on that one. I'll give you that one. Also, I mean, don't discredit the third row of Ham and Schrenkler in the 85 and 235 as well. They've got, we've seen good, strong pace from those guys already, and I wouldn't, I expect to see a 6-car fight. Ooh.
Uh-oh, here's
Just-
the 88 again.
Yeah, he managed to get down just ahead of the safety car there, so he is going to come back around. However, I think he's just having a little look at it. Yeah, he's already a lap down his car, and disappointed to not see my fellow Brit being able to make good well, after initially making good progress, it all seems to be coming undone a little bit for him. However, I can't wait. It's going to be, I think, 5 to go. We're in for an absolute grandstand finish between definitely those top 6, and I feel maybe a little bit of elbows out coming, and this last round of the oval section of the series, and it's all going to be happening out on track.
It certainly is. It certainly is. 5 laps to go, and we're really going to be excited to I'm really excited to see how this one's going to play out. I can tell you the top 4 drivers are going to be hand-to-hand, elbow-to-elbow, wheel-to-wheel, aggressive with each other. Now that's third row. I know Schwenkler, he's been up there. And same with Jake Ham. They might go for it, but I have a feeling they might just let this one come to them. They might get too aggressive up ahead, and they could really snipe a win right there. They'd just be a little bit patient right here. We're going to find out. Lights are out on the pace car as we are. Green here at Daytona. 4 laps to go. Good start by both of them. Paul and Cameron both pushing Bobby and Jimmy right here onto turn 1, and immediately look at Jake Ham. Already had his nose on the inside of Cameron Peterson right now. Top 4 locked in. They know who their buddies are. They're definitely going to be helping out. Here we go. And Cameron got into the back of Bobby Ross. And James! Jake got into the back of Cameron Peterson. Big wreck right there. Cameron Peterson has lost a wheel. Peterson has lost a wheel. Cameron Peterson has lost a wheel and has gone up the track into the 81. The 81 gets taken around. James Kerr into the 81. We're going to have our 5th caution. Cameron Peterson got into the back of Bobby Ross right there, and he had to back off right there, and right in front of Jake Ham. Jake Ham had no idea that Cameron backed off right there, got into the back, and sent him, up into the wall. That made him lose his tire, and once you lose your tire, there's no way you're going to be making that turn at 120 miles an hour that Cameron did. So 5th caution of the night, and that is going to give Jimmy Hawat still the lead. It's going to be Paul. Yeah, here you can see right here, Cameron, no chance on making that corner right in front of the 81. The 81 gets absolutely punted right here. Yeah, here's the incident. Cameron had to check up, and Jake just got back into it. There goes his tire, and you can see he's trying to slow down, and unfortunately, nobody could avoid that. 81, he almost had the avoidance maneuver made, and then was hit from behind at very high speeds.
And, I mean, interestingly as well, Pedersen carried on. He didn't visit pit road. It's like some absolutely awful...
Well, pit road wasn't
noises.
open. Pit road wasn't open. He'll be dropped to the back.
That is why. Apologies, yeah, because he would have just been shut just before he came to it. So, bit of another piece of misfortune from Pedersen, who was looking really competitive for the victory here. And then you see pit road definitely open now as they head in, and Ham, another one that can't tell you how many times he's this. I think this is the 4th time he's been into pit road today. But Pedersen's so unlucky there, and I think we're it's going to be interesting. These last couple of laps when we go green once more. And wow, I don't know how to call this one, Austin. Of who's going to come out victorious here at Daytona. It could go absolutely any way.
It certainly is, and it's well, Cross Series League Racing. It's gonna be a green-white-checkered over here. So I hope y'all's hearts are ready, because it's gonna get pretty interesting over here.
It is. It's going to be a proper fight to the finish, and scrapping it out, a bit of pushing and shoving, and Ross is going to be in that second row with Ham. And I mean, it could actually play into their advantage a little bit, because they're going to have the draw from Howitt and Paul the Polish Plough in the 37 and 38. They're going to be on that front row. And can they find enough of the gaps to squeeze their car through and take victory here at Daytona? It's going to be interesting to see, or we're going to see Howard and Paul just lock out that front row, prevent anyone. Howard's going to be on that inside line as well, which might pay a little bit advantageous to him. I'd expect to see him hugging the yellow line pretty much the whole way around, just covering that off to prevent anyone coming up the inside of him. Wow. One of these it's going to be definitely a fight to the finish.
If we get to the finish, remember they still have to do one lap. And if they do that one lap, white flag comes out, anything goes. The next flag ends the race. Anything goes if they get that white flag. So it's going to be a race to the finish, and you don't know what's going to happen right there. If they get a caution on this first lap, like they had on this restart, it's going to cause another green-white-checkered. We got 2 attempts before, well, the next flag ends the race this time, but they're going to try this overtime 2 times, but this will be the one time. If something happens, they're going to stop, try it again, and on that next one, if anything happens, that ends the race. But what they're looking for is to see that white flag lap, and then hide everything you hold precious, because I think we're going to see some haymakers being thrown.
Definitely, it's going to be... Well, Albus not only will be out, they will have been sharpened in preparation, as he currently sits behind the pace car, and it's going to get nasty out there. It's going to be spicy. He's going to be pushing and shoving. And not long till the safety car comes in, and we will be off racing once more here at Daytona.
Yeah, here we go. Safety car is in, and you can see Bobby Ross already on that bumper of Jimmy. So we go green, white, checkered here at Daytona. Paul getting a good start. Jimmy on that bottom line. Jimmy getting pushed by Bobby Ross. Jake Ham on that top line, pushing Paul. Paul almost got a car leak clear. Look at Jake Ham really pushing Paul. Paul getting sideways. A little bit too much pushing right there. He's going to be a little bit slow. Jim is going to have the advantage heading into turn 3. You look at Jake Ham. Ham is really going ham right here. Heading into turn 3. Paul is in the wall. Paul's in the wall. Jake Ham really pressured him into a safety there. Ham holding Jimmy all the way down. Jimmy getting sideways. Ham is going for the win right here on lap 2. And it's going to be 1 lap to go. White flag is in the air.
You see Ross almost squeezing through there as well. He's going to head into second on this final lap here at Daytona. Ooh, just having to move up a bit higher there, as you saw Howard just coming back through. Ham currently out in front.
Big crash in the background, but we are not going to stop this right now. Jake Ham defending down to the inside. Bobby Ross looking down to the inside right now. Bobby Ross gets into Jake Ham. Jake Ham's around, and Jake Ham's into the wall. Jimmy Hillwatt avoids it all, and Jimmy Hillwatt escaping and walking on sunshine right now, as he is going to be a race winner here today.
Coates, but let's look at the background. Coates, he's going to come home second.
Coates is slow. Coates doesn't have a wheel, and it's going to be Sarum. No, he just barely missed it out. Coates escapes the second place with 3 wheels. Mike finishes in third. Barnes in 4th, Piero in 5th, Haran in 6th, Ross in 7th, Schwinkler in 8th, Capel in 9th, and Cameron Peterson comes home in 10th place. But what a shocking move right there. Jake Ham was pressuring everybody right there. He caused Paul on 2 laps to go into the wall by forcing it 3 wide. Forced Bobby to go low, and Bobby gave him a tap right there, saying, if you're going to try to do that, maybe some cold hard justice right there. But man, Jimmy Huat, number 37, escaped with his life on that one. Here it is. Yeah, Jake Ham pressuring Bobby Ross like he wasn't even there. And, well, gets turned around upside down pretty much for half a second. And, well, back up into the field. Very over-aggressive driving right there. But, hey, it's the last lap of Daytona. What are you going to do? Rubbins Racing. But, oh, my gosh. Here is your race results, Tim.
I don't think we were quite expecting. Well, we knew we were in for a great finish. I'm not quite sure who we were expecting that one, but how about taking the victory here at Daytona? Saw him coming home in second, just beating Coates there by under 200ths of a second at the line. They forget to claim that last place on the podium. Barnes, 4th. Haran, 4th. So 5th even. Ross, Macy comes down 6th. 7th for Schenkler. Lachlan Capel was 8th. Cameron Pedersen 9th. And Kevin Irving rounds out your top 10 here. We had Paul has himself 11th in the end, despite getting into the wall. Clog, he was 12th. Di Piero 13th. Ham 14th. Darling 15th. And then it starts to cast a lap down. This was all happening with Darling, Kerr, and then Benavides rounding out your field here at Daytona.
Yeah, what a race. And, well, it was a very exciting last few laps. And I'm standing by with, I'm standing by with Jimmy right here. Jimmy escaped with a victory, was in the right place, right time. Jimmy, how you feeling after that?
Pretty damn lucky, to be honest with you.
Yeah, luck was definitely on your side. You saw Jake Ham, chasing you down on the restart. When it was 2 to go heading into turn 3, did you see what happened in your mirror? And were you expecting something pretty spicy to happen?
Are you talking about the crash in turn 3 in the last lap?
Second to last lap, then.
Well, I didn't see anything in the first one, really. It was the second one that I knew was going to get iffy because there was some pretty good blocking going on, and we were going 3 wide quite a bit.
Yeah, what was going through your mind heading into the green-white-checkered? Did you have a game plan?
No, not really. Actually, my game plan was to not win because I didn't want to be in a crash.
Well, you failed at that one, but you still won.
It's called failing upwards.
Failing upwards. Well, congrats on the win, Jimmy. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank and celebrate with?
No, I just want to say let's go Raiders. Hopefully they freaking win like I did. And that's it.
Hey, always a good shout out to your favorite team. Congrats on the win, Jimmy, and we'll see you next time when we bring the trucks to Rallycross.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too. And now we are joined by, okay. I'm actually confused because it's showing Mike as finishing in second place. Though at the time it showed Tyler finishing in second place. But we got Mike here in second place, being scored in second place. Mike, you saw that caution happening up in front of you. Then you saw Tyler slowing down because he only had 3 wheels. And how was that feeling going towards the line? And walk us through that last lap.
I mean, all I can really say is, wow. I don't know how many times I wrecked, like 3 or 4 times. I spun out coming into the pits, but that last lap, yeah, I saw mayhem happening in front of me, and I had damage, so I was kind of slower than the pack, and I just, tried to look ahead and pick my line, and there was just cars everywhere, and somehow I got second.
Yeah, somehow you did, just by the skin of your teeth, too. That green-white-checkered, you want to talk about, do you want to talk about that game plan that you had in your mind and what was going through your head on that restart?
Well, I had it was like 3 minutes or something of optional repairs after I spun into the pits, so I opted not to take those and just stay out on the lead lap. And that green-white-checkered, I didn't really expect it to be that ridiculous, honestly. And so I just, I kind of dropped to the back of the field because I didn't have enough power due to my damage or the arrow or something was messed up. My car was making weird sounds. And I just hung back there, let's just finish on the lead lap. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose in front of me. So, and I was lucky enough to get through it.
Well, you were involved in so many. You're involved in a lot of incidents today. It will be an understatement. So, escaping away for second place with a very damaged car will probably be written down as the biggest win you've had today.
Unbelievable. Biggest win today, biggest win of the season so far. I didn't.
And we're only in the first block. Next time we reconvene, it is going to be the rallycross cars.
Or the off-road trucks on the rallycross.
Trucks on rallycross. Yeah. It is a very weird combination. How are you looking forward to those?
I'm really looking forward to those. Those trucks that's way more in my wheelhouse. I'm not much of an asphalt racer anymore, asphalt oval. So I think that'll be exciting and give me a good chance to get some points.
All right. Well, we're excited to see you there. Before we let you go, Mike, anyone you want to thank?
Absolutely, the whole league. Adam Thompson, he's off in Germany now and had to opt out of the league due to personal reasons or whatever. But he'll be, I believe, commentating with you guys. So that'll be fun to see. And then I definitely have to thank, I got to give a shout out to my girlfriend, Samantha, who won the state pool championship in the women's this weekend. So
hey,
a great weekend. And now I just get a lucky second place. So what could be better?
Well, anything can happen. You certainly know that. Congrats on the podium, man. And I hope you have a good time.
Hey, thanks a lot. Great broadcast, guys. I can't wait to watch it.
Thank you. And we're now joined by our third place finisher, Tyler. Tyler, how you feeling after that? White flag. You want to walk us through that last lap? Tyler, do copy. 1, 2, 3 for Tyler. 1, 2, 3. Well, it looks like Tyler might be having a little technical difficulties, might have gone where his wheel went. So unfortunately, Tyler will not be joining us for an interview. But yeah, what a way to end out the asphalt oval block of the Cross Series League Racing 1987 series presented by Nexus Fab here at Daytona. Tightly fought racing all the way to the end. Got a bit scrappy here and there, but it's time to take everything we learned here, throw it out the window. We're hopping into our trophy trucks next time by, and we're going to be throwing them onto some rallycross tracks. So it's going to be very awesome heat racing formats there, and I can't wait for it. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Apex Racing TV. I've been joined by Tim Cox with Dennis Branch in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.